Hello, everyone, and thank you for being so many to this Hostys talk, the sixth one since we started last year. My name is Yumna Chabrol, and this is my business partner, Jenny Bachelot.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. We are both the organizers of Hostys Connect.
Indeed, Hostys Connect, for those of you who don't know us, is an annual hospitality networking event where we gather 150 companies, very well selected for their know-how and their projects. And we bring together investors, counseling companies, franchisees, operators, hotel owners, interior designers, procurement, and last but not least, suppliers and super manufacturers. They network and they talk about development projects, about renovation of hotels or residences or even yachts. And Jenny, our next edition will be?
It will take place from June 28 to 30 in Nice.
Yes, exactly. So hopefully this time we'll make it. We're going to give the cue to our panelists, and we thank them for being here and for wanting to discuss hospitality in Spain after the COVID. So welcome to Elodie Cazola from Arum Group, Jérôme Lassara from Accor, and Francisco Fernandez, who's an operator, and tell you more about him. And last but not least, Vangelis Panayotis, who is our partner and CEO of the company MKG. Vangelis, your turn.
So hi everyone for this specific panel and discussion about the Spain market and the recovery. I'm Vangelis from MKG Consulting. We are a consulting firm doing survey and feasibility studies across Europe. Today, I'm very happy to have on the panel three big professionals about our industry that will share their insight and opinion about the forthcoming of our industry. So I'll let everyone introduce themselves. Francisco, speech is yours.
Hi, good afternoon, and thank you for inviting me to join you. My name is Francisco Fernandez. I've been in the hotel industry for the last 33 years in different companies, global brands, regional operators, small independents, and I've been acting basically on the marketing and sales field and the operational side. My most recent experiences were with NH Hotel Group, where I act as director of the portfolio of resorts of the brand. The last 4 years, I was part of the launching project of a new hotel management company in the Canary Islands, specialized on high-end resorts. And right now, I am starting a new project with new partners to launch a new hotel operator with an innovative approach to the market.
Hi everybody, I'm
Nice,
Jérôme. I've been in this business for the last 27 years, always with the Accor company in different countries, different parts of the world in operation and development. Now I'm taking care of the development of all the 42 Accor brands in Southern Europe, so Portugal, Spain, Cyprus, Malta, Israel, and Italy. And so happy to be there, and thank you for inviting me.
Thank you, Jérôme. And now we give the cue to Elodie Cazola from Arum Group.
Hello, everybody. Well, thank you very much, first of all, to the team organizing this Hostys webinar. Thank you for inviting us. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Elodie Cazola. I'm Director of Marketing and Communication at Arum Group. Arum Group is a family office. We own, develop, and manage resorts in the Mediterranean, especially focused in Spain. And as I said, I am responsible for marketing and communication. So thank you very much.
All right. So if you all agree, let's jump to our discussion. It has been a very challenging year for everyone. But something we probably learned about the situation with the COVID is that there is a lot of discrepancy between markets, countries, segments, and probably Spain has a strong exposure to the leisure market. So it's the same with some other European markets. And I'd like to pass the speech around. Just a quick statement from your side, how you see the demand to rebound on this specific market segment that is leisure. I will probably start to ask with Elodie. Because she has a very nice marketing perspective and fantastic product. Maybe she will be able to tell us a little bit about what exactly Arum Group is doing. But everyone is asking what kind of rebound we will have after this pandemic. There is an economic connection to that. We saw that metropolitan area has been very heated. So what about leisure? How you feel leisure? What is the statement for 2020 and maybe the outlook for this summer, Elodie, on your side?
Okay. Well, I think in the leisure segment, we've probably been a bit more lucky than, for example, in MICE or in Incentive, which has been hit much harder than us. And I would say that resorts, which is precisely where we are more focused in, has been probably more advantage also than independent hotels, as resorts has a sense of control, of wellness, of security that I think people are very keen about. Really looking at these destinations now. So resorts have been a bit more, I think, privileged even in the COVID timings. We see coming out of this situation starting in summer, because finally all the hotels are going to be open, although we have been open during the whole year, except the very precise months of confinement, which was by law obligated to close, but the rest of the months we've been lucky enough to open and have people coming and staying in the resorts. So we did not so bad compared maybe to other touristic hotel companies. And we're looking, I mean, as an investor, as a family office specialized in developing new hotels and resorts, we're looking at new projects. We are seeing lots of opportunities in the market. And we believe at the right price and the right location, there is big opportunities will come. And as I said, we're looking at a couple of things, mainly in Spain, although we're receiving opportunities all over Europe. But we are very focused in Spain. We think Spain is a country where there's still work to do in this industry. So we are quite positive and very optimistic.
I'm sure. Then we will be probably have a quick chat about the domestic market, because this is we could not have we have this mobility issue because no one was able to travel at some stage, and there were only the domestic market to rely on. But first, I like to finish my turn with Jérôme and Francisco. But what is your statement for 2020 and how you see the coming month and this summer for the Spain market, but maybe first of Europe? Jérôme is your area.
Yeah, I think that we are very positive. I mean, for example, we spoke about that last week in the CODIR, so it's a bit maybe confidential, but you know that in France they gave
we are between us. It's a closed door event, so feel free
nobody's listening.
To disclose everything, even the next Accor acquisition. If you have some hit.
Of course. Anyway, I finance it myself, so it's okay, so I can tell you. And no, but just for the weekend of Easter in France, as you know, they made some announcement to lock down again, but people had the possibility to travel for, I would say, the last weekend before being closed again. And I think that the week before the weekend of Easter, we registered something like 2 million bookings, and we saw really a peak in bookings, incredible. So people are eager and they want to travel, especially for tourism. We are just waiting for the authorities to allow also traveling. For example, in Greece, that you know well, Evangelis, they are waiting and they want to open the country by the end of May. So this is a condition to get the people in, and to get the people in the hotel. Also, you need to get the possibility to travel. So we depend also on the airline industry. So airline industry has to be able also to put back the capacity to bring the people to the different places. But we really see, for example, we are going to hopefully to sign, and this is a scoop, a hotel in Greece in Elunda, and it's a resort, a city resort, and they are working very hard to open the hotel for July. And it's a big company, it's a big investor, so they are really confident. So travel and especially in tourism, it's going to be, we believe, a boom as soon as we can travel. And investors still believe in this type of industry, not for now, but for the future also. We've been working a lot during all this period with a lot of investors that are expecting 2023, 2024 to come back to a normal situation. So there is no doubt about that. Just a question of holding on, being able to cope with the crisis, to be able to have enough financial capabilities to resist. But there's no doubt we are going to boom again.
Okay, lovely. Elunda is in Crete. Huh? It's my
Crete, yes.
of my family. So I know well the place.
It's still in Greece, so it's Crete in Greece.
You know, it's sometime there is Catalonia, there is the French, and there is Crete for the Greeks. So it's very close, let's say. But okay. No, I'm just kidding.
I will invite you. If we sign it, it's going to be a nice hotel. We will invite you.
I know the hotel is very nice. Anyway, Francisco, on your side, I think you saw also in the winter in the Canary Islands, it was not that bad to a certain extent. Could you share a bit of statement and what you experienced yourself when looking at the industry in 2020 and the oncoming trends in terms of demand?
Well, I fully agree with Jerome's speech about the forecast we can see. Concerning the past winter, it was tough. We had last winter we had a good scenario around the month of October, November, because it looked like the demand was coming reasonably. But as soon as the British government decided lockdown of the market, the winter was absolutely down and was a tough winter anyway. In my opinion, the 2021 summer will not. I don't see a problem or an issue in terms of demand. The issue is in terms of vaccines and in terms of connectivity, basically. As soon as those two key points are working, the demand will come. But I foresee a tough summer 2021. The best scenario I can see for our destinations, leisure travel, is in terms of 50%. If we're able to manage to be there, it will be the best scenario, I think. But in the meantime, I hope that if everything goes as it is planned in terms of vaccination and the evolution of the recovery of the connectivity with the airlines goes on the same way, I hope that next winter for the Canary Islands, which is our high season, will be a good winter. And I hope that summer 22 will be a very good year in terms of demand. And I hope, as Jerome said, that the airlines will be able to fly and to recover as much capacity as they can to fulfill that demand.
No, the only thing that we are certain is that we're living in uncertainty. So at least let's cross finger and hope things gonna run all right. Elodie, you are quite in a kind of niche market, being in the upscale and having this model with the hotel operation, but also residential real estate, which is a bit of a hybrid approach. I'm sure we're going to have the opportunity to speak about this hybrid part of the business, but I just wanted to hear a little bit about you regarding the domestic demand, because in France, the last summer was not a full disaster because they could rely on the French clientele staying in their home country. But for countries in south of Europe, we can include Italy and Greece, they rely quite a lot on the incoming demand from our neighbor. Francisco were mentioning that the situation went worse when the British could not come. So I think on your side, the statement is slightly different, no?
It is different, yes. Actually, we had a discussion the other day with Francisco when we touched this subject. I mean, for us, it's local client is important, of course, and it has increased, I have to say. In Abama, which is a 5-star luxury destination resort, we never had so many Spanish and local clients as we have seen during this year, not only in the hotel, but also in the properties, which is quite unusual. We sell very high properties, which are also serviced by the hotels in the resort. And it's true that for the first time, the Spanish market has been buying properties. This is one of the reactions of this COVID, no? That people wanted a mixture, as you said, between property service by hotel. So it's a hybrid. We call it apartamento turístico, condo hotel, branded residences. I mean, there's several kind of different types of properties that are serviced. But this has been very, very, very interesting to see how it has evolved this year. But as I said, for us, local market has been important. It has increased. It will not be enough to fill up all our offer. And one quite incredible thing is that even with the restrictions we had with all the traveling, our clients have been buying properties anyway from a distance, which is quite amazing. It's probably not new clients, more than people that had already been in the resort, knew the resort, friends of owners, that people that have been coming very often to the hotels that we have there. They decided, okay, now it's time to buy. We want to feel safer. We want to have better, maybe something that is a bit in between hotel and a private villa. As I said, the touristic properties have been doing very well, so they decided to buy it from a distance, sometimes without even coming to the resort. So it is a different situation than probably the 35,000 hotels that we have in all Spain that have other clients and other particularities.
It's interesting to see that at a private level, the Spanish were keen to continue to invest in real estate, which obviously it's an interesting sign about what could be the rebound of the economy. Many economists believe that once mobility will be back, there's going to be a very strong rebound. First of all, because we print so much money and just try to keep people alive, but there is still space for consumption. Jérôme, is it still the same from the investor side? I like to hear a little bit about what is your feeling from the investment side, because there is 2 points there which is interesting. It's first of all, are you still signing deals with investors? They still believe in the future of the hospitality industry. And maybe the second question that we can connect to this, it's how a brand could be a strong asset in this specific moment.
Yeah, completely. I mean, in terms of development activity, so we are a bit the l'avant-garde, I don't know how to say it in English, but we are, I'm on the field before the hotel's opening, of course. So we've been working a lot this year in 2020. We've been signing a lot of rooms. So it was not as much as we did in 2019. That was really a record year, but we did more or less just 20% below what we did in 2019, so which is a very good performance. The only thing that we had to face sometimes in terms of financing, so equity, you've got a lot of equity, there is no doubt about that. The issue are the banks, and even for big deals with big investors that can bring a lot of equity, they kind of hold on, they kind of want to get some more equity, less leverage. So there is a bit of, they are very cautious, but this always been like that with the banks. I don't know if we have bankers that are listening to the conference, but bankers, they like to give money to people that have a lot of money when there is no risk. So this is not new.
But so still want interest rate.
Yes. So we had a few big deals like that were being a bit stuck, and we are still a bit stuck. But we hope that they will start again. But there are a lot of operation right now. So a lot of people said prices of the real estate of acquisition will have a discount, but which is not the case so far. We don't see really discounted deals, distressed deals. What we see, and especially in Barcelona, which is amazing, in the last 2 months, we've been looking at 5 or 6 transactions that a lot of investors are looking at. And the new thing is that before you had no asset to buy on special destination like Barcelona, Madrid, Milan, Rome, big cities like that. It was very hard to find something. And in Barcelona, it's spectacular. So really, some people are trying to sell, but not at a discounted price. On the contrary, it's still expensive, and you've got a lot of people really interested. So this is a good sign, because they believe that for the future, cities, especially like Barcelona, where you've got a big component of tourism at the end, they are very attractive for investors. This is the main point. Then after the brands, the big thing that we see in countries of Southern Europe where international brands do not have a big market share. So traditionally, the worst is Italy, where I live, where chain is, in terms of hotel, is not even 4% of the offer. Spain is different, but with a lot of national chains, international chain. We've got Accor, Marriott, and Hilton, and Intercontinental, and that's it. And altogether, I think we have maybe, if we might be something like 500 hotels if we take the sum of these 5 players. But this is really an opportunity for this type of investor. They are looking at the upside. So even though the assets are expensive, they believe that with professional management, with international brand, with international loyalty programs, they really can have an upside on the asset, and that's why they go for the transaction. And you've got a lot of operations like that, where you can really change your mix of clients and reposition the hotel and get a premium on the rate thanks to the brand. Another trend that we had, it was more on the purely leisure market, and especially I saw that it started in Greece a lot. Traditionally on the leisure market, you had no hotel chain, and it was really a tour operator market. And some hoteliers, especially in Crete, if we come back to Crete, like the people that you might know from Domes of Elunda, they were the first one to believe that they could change their mix of guests and work with individual leisure travelers. And they did the rebranding with my competitor, not with me, and they did some tremendous performance. And this is a trend that we see also in Spain. We are working before the crisis on a lot of deals in Ibiza, Mallorca, we were starting, but also on the Costa del Sol, where they were looking at rebranding and get really an upside on their properties.
Thanks. Francisco, your next project will be to be hotel operators and an injunction with an investment real estate company. What was the philosophy behind your move? Do you believe it's a risky move to enter to the market right now, or is it more a kind of perfect timing just to start and grow up? And maybe compared to what Jérôme said, I guess you have probably a slightly different analysis, or at least you believe there is a place for regional operators that will bring something in between independent, pure players and the big brands outside.
Yeah. Well, obviously we see opportunities on the market, and that's one of the reasons why we are launching the project. But there are always risks. If there is no risk, there is no challenge. And this business is the component of risk is always there. But we see opportunities on the market, especially on the leisure side, on the holiday destinations, on the traditional holiday destinations, because there are a lot of changes in the scenario. There is a social change in terms of the consumer, the way the new generations are living, are buying, their lifestyle, their ambition to travel. It's different to their parents. And of course, this has to open opportunities to those that understand the value proposals that this new customer is looking for. And we see that on the city hotel business, there was a lot of innovation, new brands, new concepts that are not transferred at the moment at the vacation or the resort concept. So we see there an opportunity. Then we see opportunities in terms of transformation of existing products that have been built, designed, and marketed for a model that it's coming to an end. And this pandemic scenario we are living will accelerate the changes in terms of the distribution, the tour operating model, the distribution model, and especially the customer interest. So there are more opportunities there in terms of identifying good locations, commodity-sized products that need the transformation and have obviously an upside opportunity to improve the performance, to change the mix, to change the strategy, to change the value proposal. And this is quite interesting opportunity from our point of view. And in the meantime, we see that this new market that it's redefining the whole thing. Obviously, the big brands have a very important role to play, but in the past history, normally in Spain especially, which is the market I know the best, the performance of the global brands when they came to the operation and to the optimization of products, especially on the holiday destinations, on the more traditional holiday destinations like Balearic Islands or Canary Islands or the mainland coast, etc. They didn't make a big thing because it's not just a question of brand; it's a question also of efficiency in terms of operation. It's a question in terms of understanding the local markets and understanding the distribution models that normally it's a difficult part of the business for these global companies in the holiday destinations. I mean, obviously they succeed and they have shown their capabilities in the big getaways in Madrid, in Barcelona, in these big cities. Obviously they are champions of this field. But I think there are part of the understanding of the business in other destinations, on the sun and beach destinations mainly, where the small operators or the local operators have proved that they can be probably not so good in terms of marketing, but more efficient in terms of operations. So the final balance it's much more competitive one to each other. And in the meantime, we see that there could be opportunities for this new scenario in the market where we can try to join forces with the best know-how of everyone. Global brands are powerful in terms of marketing. They do their marketing quite well. They have some tools in terms of technology and customer relationship marketing that are really very strong, very powerful. And in the meantime, they have a tremendous muscle in terms of loyalty programs. If we combine this powerful tools they have with this local know-how, operational efficiency, probably we can find a combination where we can win together, improving profitability for the shareholders, for the owners, delivering a good customer experience, combining the brand promise of value with a very efficient and satisfactory customer experience in place. So I think there are opportunities where Jerome and myself, we can probably work together in certain projects.
I think so, but I always take the example that I don't know if you like soccer, but if you've got a team of first division, of course they play in first division. If you take a team of second division in Spain, they know how to play football. I mean, they play very well football. But if you want to win the championship, so to win a lot of times, if you want to go to the Champions League, you need to get a setup where you've got the best everywhere. So that's why a club like Barcelona, Real Madrid, they're always the first one because they've got the best trainer, the best stadium, the best infrastructure. And when you put together the expertise of independent hoteliers that know maybe to manage hotels and be more flexible than big companies, together with all the tools that we have in the brands, you can work without this setup. But if you got the best setup, you can perform better.
It's a good example. I normally used to use the example of the Formula One and the Monaco Championship. Yeah. It's not only about having the best car. It's not only to be the best driver, but it's a combination of both that can make your car to be the champion. So I think that's the
exactly.
Yeah, I don't know what sport, Elodie, we use to give a
position. I'm not too much into football, Vangelis, sorry. But if I have to say something, for us, brands are very important. We have different resorts, and we have resorts with brand and with non-brand, and we can see the performance. Because for us, it's not only what the hotel can win here, it's what in a resort is important for all the different businesses that you have in a resort. You have the F&B, you have the golf, the tennis, the property sales. I mean, there's so much business that is related to that brand. And to give confidence to all those clients, I think brands are stronger now than ever, especially now. After what happened this year, people they want control, they want security, they want responsibility, they want everything controlled by in one hand. And that when you have a brand, and as Jérôme said, an international brand that have all this system and all these teams of people and expertise and all the books with the rules and everything is absolutely controlled, it gives a lot of security and confidence. So when we look at the new resort, we always think which is the best brand for it, because we know it's part of the game. And if we need to bring in other investors, if we're going to think about what are we going to sell, who are we going to sell it to, we know how important in this process having a brand behind you is. So, and as I said, I think more now and more than ever, for all the different products that we're seeing in this new trends, the all-inclusives, the branded residences, everything is brand. So I think it's a good time. And I'm not against, I think I like the idea of also mixing the local know-how, because I think as Francisco says, Spain is very particular, and all those operators, individual operators, small groups that have maybe not only one, they can have small portfolios of hotels, they can bring value to those international brands that have had in the past lots of problems in really understanding the market, the culture, and really offering what tourists wanted when they came to Spain. Having this know-how, local know-how, is probably, I think, in not maybe everywhere, but in many cases could do a good job, could resolve this problem. Why don't we have many more international brands in Spain? Why not? Because there has been a problem there. There has been an incompatibility between the philosophies, the ways of doing things, and understanding our market and our hotel industry. So that could help at least to do a good introduction in the country. And maybe after, we'll see what happens. But I'm sure it's a good palanca, as we say in Spanish, to get in our tourism and hotel industry.
It's a very interesting statement, because usually the top 10 worldwide brands, and Jérôme mentioned few, and of course Accor is part of this top 10, they've been very focusing on the business market. So mostly in the key cities with corporate travelers. Investors see that there is no seasonality, so less risk, and all this stereotype that exists with the resort kind of asset. But I think probably the statement, Francesco, you want to add something?
Oh yeah, I just want to mention about that there is also another reason that I think has impacted in the penetration of the global brands and the international companies, especially in the resort business, is the fact that it's about the business model. Most of the big brands, the international companies, goes to the market with an approach of asset light management or franchise concepts. The market in Spain has been driven for a long time, and it's still driven by a model based on leasing, on risk on the operator side, which is something that the big operators don't like to play. So this was, I hope that Jérôme has suffered this scenario, was a big barrier in getting into certain business where the local owners or the investors in the assets wanted to have a leasing or a rent with a guaranteed profitability, and do not get involved in the risk of the day-to-day operation.
Which is an issue, especially in Southern Europe. In Anglo-Saxon countries, it's not like that. Also, it's not only the real estate markets, it's the banks, it's the mentality. So the business model has been like that. That's why we don't have so many international brands. That's it. If you take other type of investors, I tell you, Anglo-Saxon, they normally want to get the upside. So they understand that if someone is leasing They understand that if someone is leasing, he will take his own profit. And normally an investor, the private fund, they want to get the full profit and they prefer to get management contract. But this is all now we've got some big investors in Spain, like Blackstone, like other people like Apollo or whatever. They want to work with management or franchise, management directly with the company, or franchise to get the brand, and then after to get the management done by a local company for reason of flexibility.
Francesco was saying, just read between the lines, that the market has changed. We have this stereotype of having Spain as a mass market dominated by tour operators from demand side. We saw the bankruptcy of Thomas Cook 2019, where the tourism market was at the top. We knew it afterwards when 2020 came, but actually was the previous stop on the market we had. But still, there was bankruptcy of these two operating models. Elodie, you have a very hybrid or a lot of modularity in your resort. We all understood that people are looking for something which is more meaningful. We mentioned about brands provide reassurance to the clients, but also many successful resorts, and maybe Jérôme will tell us later on about the Sofitel in Spain, but they combine, they are a destination on itself. We mentioned about Elunda in Crete. It's a destination. It's known as a destination itself. Then you can add the power of a brand and just try to diversify the next clientele. But looking to the people who are seeking more experience, more meaningful, more mix between local and international standard and so on. I think you are a good buffer of this trend. What is your idea about or your opinion about the coming 3-4 years? If you have to do investment, what you will do differently? What you will do differently? Sorry.
Well, first of all, people have changed their minds now, and for example, the mass market you're talking about, the big places, resorts, destinations where everybody is going to be together, lots of people at the buffets in the morning, the excursions on a bus where we have 20, 50 people together. I mean, this is changing. Now people want, as I said, I think, again, I'm repeating a bit, but they want to be in a secluded, controlled areas, places where they know everything is, I mean, even if they can cut the barrier and say, okay, from here on, anybody that comes in, they have to have the control. They maybe ask for PCRs. I mean, lots of controls in the health, in any physical need that depending on what's going on. And as things are changing so much, today they announced in Catalonia, you won't be able to get out of our comarca for indefinitely. We don't know until when. So you cannot plan too much. So if you're planning to go away somewhere, you want to know that where you will be safe. So we're seeing smaller services. Maybe we won't have the group buffets. We have specialized services in your rooms or in different areas where people cannot get together more than X amount. We will see more authentic experiences in the resort and outside also, much more with the family, with single people. I mean, not the big groups, not the big things, everything much more catered to what everybody wants and very individually. I think in general, lots of healthy wellness. We are developing more than ever and looking at this wellness offer. If we have accelerated our plans of offering these products, not only just having like an area space in the whole resort where people can go, but offering it in the rooms, offering in the restaurants, offering in the spas, in the golf areas. I mean, really catering to giving the sense to people that they're going to come not just for holidays, but they're going to take care of themselves. They're going to eat well. They're going to have gym. They're going to take care of the massage, or even having something a bit more medical services. Also, we're developing a new project in Abama, particularly called the Barquer, where we're bringing a Philips new scanning machine for the heart, where you can predict if you're going to be in danger somehow or not too far away related to your heart. So you can start treating that, or if you have been already in a problem with your health and you want to recuperate and have this treatment. So this would be like the extension. But it's true that all the resorts now in Spain are looking at offering this kind of services more or less. You go to the SHA is maybe the most experienced wellness that you can find, but in a lesser maybe sophistication. We are all working on the having our own piece of land where you can cultivate your fruit and your vegetables and eating from your proper production and this kind of things. Organic food, of course, everywhere, and all the needs that people right now are looking for to make sure they're going to be having a very healthy life. So that's a trend. And you can see it in food, in the bed you're sleeping, in the exercise you're doing, be it tennis, being golf, being yoga, Pilates, wherever you mean. I mean, that's what we are focusing in and making sure that people feel like they're getting the energy that they have lost during this last year.
Yeah, we have to put much more content in the experience.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
I saw that there is few questions, and the guys on the chat. We will take time to answer your questions in few minutes. So because I just find out that there were some questions being asked few minutes ago. Maybe you, Elodie, if I try one day your system for the heart, maybe I will try it the day before I leave. So I'm sure I'm passing good holidays.
No, at the contrary. You need to do it the first day so you can recuperate there.
Okay.
You're right, Vangelis. It's exactly what I thought.
You don't want to know.
but it's nice. People are looking to pampering themselves more and more, and definitely it's a growing trend. Jérôme, you had some iconic opening coming in the coming month and weeks. Can you tell us just a little bit of feedback or return of experience about those projects? There is a Sofitel. So Sofitel, I think in Spain, is going to open pretty soon.
Yeah, it's a project that we have signed but just before Christmas 2019, I think. So, and it's the Francisco knows very well the hotel. It's the ex-NH Almenara in Soto Grande. This complex was taken over by a big private equity. I think it started 3 or 4 years ago. Frankly speaking, this owner, the investment is part of the investment is for the real estate part. So in Soto Grande, you still had a lot of square meter to residential. So this was really the upside for the operation. But they needed to feed the residential part with a luxury hotel. So at the end, the hotel is going to be luxury and we'll have to work and do the performance we said it would do. But the hotel is also the way to give more value to the full development of Soto Grande. So it's a complex altogether. So the hotel has been completely refurbished, but not only refurbished, but rethink the master plan of the hotel. Just take an example. It was a very nice hotel, but a bit Andalusian style, but with car parks in the middle. So for example, all the car park has been put below the hotel. So this was a big investment. So at least like that, we have a kind of a hotel which is like a village that can live by itself, and the investment was very important. And it's part of the trends we see in the Costa del Sol. It's easier in the Costa del Sol. Why? Because it's a consolidated market. You've got the infrastructure, a lot of golf courses, you've got the airport of Malaga, so it's easy to get there. And this makes that if you have to invest in a luxury hotel, I mean, you've got more, you are more confident that it's going to work than going to new destination. Create a new destination, it's always much more complicated. You have to invest more in marketing, so it's more risky. But places consolidated like Costa del Sol, it's a big trend that to get out from the not only mass market, but the 4-star, I would say, and also 5-star hotel, but a bit normal, and to create products which are really created by experts and where you've got more content. So it's not just making a nice room, but it's really to create something.
Okay, maybe I will start with the first question to Francisco. Will be a good transition because I see from Guillermo, I think that we all look pretty optimistic for the futures, and but so far the situation is a bit tough. So aren't we too much optimistic or over optimistic for the outcoming on the tourism market and maybe the Spanish market in itself? And just before you answer, Francisco, it's more a question about the fundamentals. Do we believe it's more?
We lost you, I think, Vangelis.
For more structural, and we should not get back to normal anytime. But
I think you have to repeat the question because we lost you. The connection was lost.
I'm sorry.
We lost you for a few seconds and we couldn't catch you.
Okay, sorry. Is it back?
Yeah,
yes. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. It's the French connection. So anyway, no, so I don't know where you lost me. So I won't do a long statement again. But
about optimism of our.
Yeah, we are too optimistic. Yeah, it seems that we might be too optimistic. Do you believe so? Are we in?
Well, I think that first of all, I think that this business, our industry, is about people and about optimism. You cannot sell holidays or leisure travel without having an optimistic approach, and this should be part also of our way of looking at the challenges, I think. But I think that in a way, all of us, and of course our customers, we need this doses of optimism, and this, I think that this will help a lot to have a much quicker recovery on the leisure side and on the corporate side, or on the city hotel business mix. So I feel myself. Obviously, I try to be optimistic, but in the meantime, realistic. It's because of that I said, well, this summer, will still be a challenge, and the best possible thing we can plan is try to survive, try to get some money in the cash to pay the invoices, to pay the employees, try to recover as much of people as we can on our teams, and try to put our hotels again back in operation, and not making money, of course, but try to survive, especially because if we are able to do that, everything around us looks that next year will be positive. The trend of the tour operators, the trend of the air carriers, the trend of the numbers in our booking systems shows that as soon as the scenario gives some window of opportunity to buy your next leisure trip, people is buying. They want to book. They want to spend their time out, and they want to have some fun out of this nightmare we have been living in the last year and a half. So I think that it's optimistic, but it's quite realistic in the meantime. It's true that my main worry about the next years is not about the demand of the customer. It's about understanding how this event that we had in our lives could change the priorities of the demand of the customer, and this is, I think, it's some strategic vision that we have to put on our next steps forward. And then it's about how the economical impact will affect the economy of the families all around Europe. It's true that there will be a lot of public money put on the market, and this will make the economy move again. But the real thing is that our business depends on the money that every family has to spend for the next holidays. And in markets like in Spain, for instance, all of us, we assume that the impact on the economy of the families is very strong. It's true that our model depends more on what happens in the UK, what happens in Germany or in France or in Scandinavia, because most of our total figures depend on those markets. But this is my main worry in terms of the coming demand, because every example we can find during the last year and a half, every opportunity that people had to travel, to buy an air ticket and go to a leisure destination, the demand was amazing. So I think we need to be optimistic, but realistic in terms of understanding that there is a tough and a lot of work to do.
So if I sum up, for those who will survive until next summer, the perspective might be bright. There is a question for Elodie, but just before, Jérôme, you want to add something about what Francesco said, if we are not too over-optimistic?
No, I just want to give an example. As Francesco said, we can find a lot of examples. It was in Italy last year, so it's a resort which is not still branded, it's going to be branded next year. But the owner, I think on the 15th of June, he didn't know if he would open the hotel for the season. It's a very seasonal hotel in Puglia. And finally, on the 20th of June, he said, okay, I will try. I will open. I can tell you that the hotel in July and August did 92% occupancy and 1.9 million turnover. So it means that there is the possibility to get a very fast response, I guess, once people get confident. So it's really the big issue is we don't know when, the curve of the confidence, we start again to say, okay, we can go. It's like when you had a surgery, for example, and you have to learn again how to walk, and you think that you will never make it, and the day you make it, then after you just forgot it happened. So I think it can start very fast, but we have to survive in the meantime. This is the issue.
Yeah. Well, our industry is mostly a supply industry, not the demand industry. If you put the asset and you open, people will come. If there is no hotel, there will not be tourists anyway. You can have as much demand as you want, but that's not going to happen. Elodie, there is a question I'm going to read, but it's addressed to you. I'll just try to sum up. If you consider in your development plan senior and assisted living with wellness in nice locations like Spain can offer, but also probably in a more affordable way that maybe British clientele or German clientele can find in their home country. Is this something? This is an extended way of hospitality.
The question is good, and it's very appropriate because we are also looking at this kind of more senior living projects. Part of not so much in Tenerife, maybe more in another project like La Manga Club, where we have big pieces of land there, and it's very appropriate for this kind of services. We're looking at the possibility of developing some senior living part of it there, because the climate is ideal, the communication is good, the services are very good too, very appropriate. I mean, we have 3 golf courses, we have 28 tennis courts. It's a huge gym wellness destination. Where senior living would be very interesting. What we are looking at is an operator for that, because we are not specialized in operation of senior living, and that precises of somebody that knows a lot of knowledge. So if the person that asked the question is interested in talking to us, would be very willing to look at this project. Okay. Yeah, not only in La Manga Club, but we could do it anywhere else in Spain, but we look for a good partner. We need a good partner. We've been contacting UK and Nordic companies for this, but the UK has a problem in coming out of the country with senior living. They prefer now to concentrate in UK because of rules and regulations, which are very strict, so they cannot get the same benefits, but it's still something that could be very interesting for them. And on the other hand, Nordics are also, there's lots of security companies that are looking at developing their own spaces and destinations for their people in southern countries. So it is an interesting opportunity, and more now, again, advanced probably with the COVID situation, even more interesting to have very, very well controlled senior living areas.
Okay. Usually, Yumna during Hostys event will accommodate a private room for signing the deals. But now that we are remotely connected, I don't know how you will proceed, Yumna, with that. Just because we're getting almost to the end of our time, and it has been a great pleasure for this discussion. But now you have all to get out your crystal balls and just tell us when do you believe we're going to be back at 2019 figures in our industry. Elodie, let's start with you.
Listen, if you take into account, we've had 7 years of records every year since 2012, and 2019 was almost 84 million tourists in Spain. So to get to those figures again is not going to be easy and fast. And here I agree with the person that wrote the message saying that we shouldn't be so optimistic. We believe we'll get there, but it's going to take at least, I would say, to the levels of 2019, couple of years, maybe we're talking about 2003, 2004, easily. There's a lot to do. There's a lot of work to do. There's a lot of changes to be made. We cannot continue with the same way of working that we've been doing until now. We have to change our minds and adapt to the future that is coming. Not only what right now people are looking at, but be even more advanced at what they know they are wanting or they will want. So we have to be a bit visionaries here. And when we look at new projects, we have to see where is the potential and think about, 3-4 years from here. So we have to have quite the strength to be able to keep the...
Don't worry, guys. Yumna told me already that she's going to cut this from the record, so no one will be quoted later on. Jérôme, what is your bet?
No, but besides on my bet, because I think that, of course, we live in a financial world with investors, so we have to give return to the shareholders or whatever. But I mean, just if we come back to a normal situation without talking first of the 2018 year that was a record for everybody, it would be good. No, I remember I was in this company in 2008 when we had the financial crisis. And I think we dropped turnover by 12%. It was, everybody was saying that we will die. So now you say, when you look backward, you say 12%, it was a joke. So hopefully we can come back to work first and people can work and pay their debt and whatever. And then after, if everything goes well, I think we've got we had some trends, so we will go back to normal situation. You've got, as you know, Vangelis, you've got many different models. A lot of consultants like you, others have been doing some simulation. I think that the most probable is that by 2024, we can come back maybe to record years like 2019, but it doesn't mean that we won't work well in 2022 and 2023, which is what I hope. So just let's start to work normally, maybe making a bit less profit. And then after we will work on the performance at the end. So,
yeah, I was speaking with some investors, and they had this quote that I found it interesting. They say if the industry survives to COVID, which I believe they will, then what else? If this, I think the confidence will be even stronger through the decades, saying that even the COVID didn't succeed to kill the industry and the business. But all right, Francisco, what is your bet?
Well, I basically agree with my colleagues. I think that there are to get back to a healthy market environment. I think it's going to take probably, globally speaking, a couple of years more, 2 to 3 years more. But I will put some paper on the speech. I think that this statement will not apply for everybody. It will depend how everyone in our companies now will manage this process, because for some of the players, they will never be back on their past figures because their model is gone. For some others, will champion and will win much more in a shorter period of time. And for the average, let's say not very positive, not very negative, probably will take 2 to 3 years more. But the industry, the business will not be the same than before.
No, it's a very interesting statement, Francisco. I do agree. There is, usually they say there is a K statement. So people who are at the end of the product life cycle and probably they won't get back to the same high as before because it's the end of a cycle. And there is the new guys offering more content, as we say during the discussions, and experience, more hybrid, and so that will probably grow 10% quicker than the other one. It's very interesting momentum on the market. The new cycle ahead, which is very exciting, I guess.
And disruptors and people who will double their profitability probably much quicker, and others will go out of the market.
Yeah. Yona, it's maybe time to conclude, so I'll leave you for the final words.
Yes, thank you, Vangelis. Thank you, everyone. It was warm to hear talk about human relationship and put the people at the center of all your preoccupations, because this is what we talk about when we talk about hotel industry. And I thank you for being optimistic, because we need it, even though realistic is obvious we have to face with the situation, all of us. So optimism is just one good thing we need to focus on, and it keeps us going. And I know what we're talking about, because we are trying optimistically to hold our event and to gather hoteliers and investors who will come to Hostys and talk about all these interesting things. There will be many topics and many interesting conversations and panel discussions to have, and more debates to come on all this. So to our auditors, thank you for listening, and thank you for the nice comments. And you can, I hope if I did everything correctly by registering this talk, see it again or transfer it on our website, and we will see you on our next talk, hopefully. So all of you have a good evening, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.